What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 807 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo to get your post-Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah week started off on the right foot, to get it started off on the left foot, and get you walking down that road to victory, because it is Victory Monday, everybody. The final Victory Monday of 2025 as our Philadelphia Eagles go up to Buffalo. They go to Orchard Park and they do some apple picking and take down the Buffalo Bills 13-12 in a heart-stopping, gut-wrenching, brutal back-and-forth game that looked great for 52 minutes. And then it came down to exactly what I talked about on the last episode. Definitely go check that episode out, where I said, and I posted the clip everywhere, the defense was going to be the X factor for this team in this particular game, and they did exactly what they needed to do. So we will talk about this Eagles game. We will talk about Week 18, what it means, why the Eagles are still alive for the 2 seed, and so much more around the NFL. We'll go around Week 17 and give you the Week 18 schedule now that it is out. We have some Bryce Harper news to discuss. The Sixers are on quite the skid. And the Philadelphia Wings, ladies and gentlemen, even in a loss, set a little bit of history this weekend with a superstar in this city. Before we get into everything, though, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform. Please follow us. It really helps us continue to grow. We're kind of like stuck in neutral on Instagram right now. Would be really, really awesome if we could hit that next 100 follower milestone. We're super close. We're like, I think, 45 followers away from 1,700, which means we're 300 more away from 2,000. So please follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. We're like 30 followers away from 400. We've been growing pretty steadily on the TikTok lately. And follow us on Twitter. We are so goddamn close to 4K on Twitter. It would be awesome if we could hit that before the end of the year. I know it's coming up quick, but it would be pretty sweet, don't you think? You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow. It helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia so they can turn off their radios and turn up a show that actually cares about our sports teams and their successes and wants to see them at their very best without doing the hacky, shock jock bullshit. That's exactly what we do. We do the fun, we do the analysis, the fan analysis, the right way, the way that you want to hear. So turn down your radios, turn up Underground Sports Philadelphia, and subscribe on Apple and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. And if you want to watch the show or listen on YouTube Music, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Subscribe to the channel. youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week. Full video episodes of every show on our network. Clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. And ladies and gentlemen, since we last recorded, we hit milestone number 1. We hit the year-end goal of 1,200. On the YouTube channel. We hit 1,200, so thank you all for helping us reach that awesome, awesome milestone. Now, we need a little bit more help. We need 26 more subscribers before the ball drops on New Year's Eve. 26 more of you. And, we'll be doing our live stream of, counting down the amount of followers we need, subscribers we need 26 more of you. Can we do it before New Year's Eve even hits? If we hit 1,231 subscribers, we are going to do an awesome giveaway. I can guarantee you that. 1,231 is the magic number. We need 26 more of you to subscribe. Please subscribe, leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And ladies and gentlemen, this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected with the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
Hello, I'm Mayor Anthony Fanucci. Vineland, New Jersey offers both a great business location and an outstanding quality of life. But don't just take my word for it, the experts agree. We're proud to be recognized as a premier food processing and logistics hub, one of New Jersey's most affordable and desirable cities, and one of the best places to retire in the country. Visit vinelandcity.org and see how our resources can work for you. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
It's Victory Monday, everybody. Victory Monday is here. The Eagles take down the Buffalo Bills 13-12 in a nerve-wracking game, to say the least. And you know, the best way to celebrate Victory Monday is with our friends at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use that Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Maryland, Delaware areas. Philly, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Delaware, Maryland. All those areas you can find Kenwood Beer. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores, convenience stores, and grocery stores in those markets where they do sell alcohol and beer. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. Philadelphia Eagles 13-12, final score against the Buffalo Bills. And for 52 minutes, the Philadelphia Eagles held the Buffalo Bills scoreless. And I was hoping, I was pleading that the Eagles were going to keep them scoreless, but it'll never be that easy. But what did I say? If you all listened, what did I say on episode 806? Just this past episode I recorded right before Christmas. I said the defense was going to be the X factor in this game for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the X factor they were, because guess what? I am not blaming them for the 12 points surrender. They held the Buffalo Bills to a season-low 12 points. They held James Cook to 74 yards on the ground, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a season low. I'm going to double-check that here. It is not a season low, but it is one of his lowest totals of the season. It is his first non-100-yard rushing game in nearly a month. And 3.7. It is his third lowest, fourth lowest. Final derivative there. Fourth lowest yards per attempt, like average on the season at 3.7. 3.7 yards per carry, 74 yards, no touchdowns. And I said they were going to have to manage James Cook, focus in on that guy. He is their component on offense that has them clicking. You have to focus on him. You have to focus on Josh Allen running the football. I was not concerned about the passing game for good reason. You know why? Because looking at the Bills' passing game, Josh Allen, 262 yards passing. Their leading receiver was Brandon Cooks, who had half of his yardage on one catch. Their next leading receiver, 36 yards. Khalil Shakir, 35 yards on 6 catches. 33, 30, 12, 12, 3. Brandon Cooks had 101 yards. One of those catches was for 50 yards. So you take that 50 out. He had 51 yards receiving on 3 catches. The Eagles' defense put on an absolute masterclass performance. Once again, held a team's RB1 under 100 yards, and in this case under 80 yards, under 75 yards. And they can go into next week's game, more likely than not, ending this season with only surrendering a 100-yard rusher in one game this entire season. And granted, it was 2 guys who ran for 100 yards, but it was one game where they gave up a 100-yard rusher, and that was against the Chicago Bears. Kudos to them. Jalen Hurts, first half, phenomenal. I'm not really blaming him per se. In the second half, I think it was a lot more on the O-line, a lot more on the play calling being absolute dog water. There were some throws I think Jalen would love to have back, obviously. But at the end of the day, this defense is the storyline, and you look at what they were able to do. Cooper DeJean was phenomenal in this game. He ended up being the player of the game with Tom Brady. Reed Blankenship laying the fucking boomstick on people. Jahad Campbell with a fumble recovery, and he stepped up wonderfully in Nakobe Dean's absence. Great job for Jahad Campbell. That's a guy who's a first-round pick, highly touted, comes to this team. His hometown team was playing well, and then Nakobe Dean comes back, and he kind of gets thrown into a rotational role. He could have sat back in this one and kind of just like let the game come. No, he came to the game and ready to play, and that is the type of player he has always been. That's the South Jersey dog in him. I am proud of Jahad Campbell. What a game. Jalix Hunt Hive, rise the fuck up, baby. We are live action if you are part of Jalix Hunt Hive. 2 sacks in this game. He has been incredible. Incredible. And I knew he was going to be a star from the moment Howie Roseman picked up the phone to call him on draft day, and he said, "What's up, Big Pimpin'?" Guess what? Jalix Hunt is Big Pimpin' now, baby. That guy is a certified, bona fide superstar off the edge. He has been unbelievable this season. I want to take a look at his overall stats. Jalix Hunt this season has been incredible. 6.5 sacks, 2 interceptions. What is that? 50 tackles, a touchdown. He has been awesome. Awesome this season. And I have loved watching his growth and evolution this year. I am such a huge fan of one Jalix Benjamin Hunt. He has been a superstar on this defense. And he's living up to the hype of wearing number 58 on the Eagles, because we all know if you wear 58 on the Eagles as a defensive end, linebacker, what have you, there's a lot that rides with that mantle. There's a lot that rides with that mantle, from Ike Reese to Trent Cole. That number means a lot, and I think I'm forgetting somebody too. Jalix Hunt wearing it, though, is 100% something that is well-deserved. Jordan Hicks. You know, Kyron Johnson wore it in 2022 when we went to the Super Bowl. Who else? Anthony Griggs for 3 years. It's early on. I don't really know how good he was. Was he good? Was he good? he was decent. It's decent. 4 years with the Birds, 82 to 85. But it really started with Ike Reese. It was Ike Reese and then Trent Cole. And then Jordan Hicks, and now Jalix Hunt. Those are the guys that have like really been like the mantle carriers of number 58. He's been incredible. I have loved watching Jalix Hunt this season. Moro Jomo with a sack in this game. Another guy who has really come into his own this year. Jalen Carter back with a vengeance and absolutely mutilating. Beautiful sack for him. Jalen Phillips had a sack in this game. He continues to be a star. Nolan Smith was getting pressure off that edge like no other. I was in love with this team. I mean, Jalen Carter got the blocked extra point too that really factored into the final score here. Marcus Epps has been awesome since being inserted into the lineup. Zach Bond continued to do Zach Bond things. He's been incredible. Quinyon Mitchell did his thing, as he always does. Jordan Davis was great. The defense, man. This team will go as far as this defense lets them. And guess what? That's going to be pretty damn far. Because I don't know too many of the offenses that are in the NFC playoffs right now. The Seahawks, obviously the Bears, the Panthers, the Packers, the Rams, the 49ers. I don't know if any of those teams have what it takes for 4 quarters in a playoff environment, potentially in Philadelphia, to go toe-to-toe with this Eagles defense. And then a lot of what the Eagles' successes will be will ride on what the offense will be able to do with what the defense gives them. But man, this defense was this was a Vic Fangio masterclass through and through. A.J. Brown becomes the only Eagles receiver in history to have 4 consecutive seasons of 1,000-plus receiving yards. Dallas Goedert sets a new Eagles record for touchdowns in a season by a tight end with 11. Some of the things, though, this is what blows my mind, is that as the game progressed, this team looked like a totally different creative style team in the first half. There was motion. There were bootlegs. It was really like, holy cow, am I watching the Philadelphia Eagles offense here in 2025? Or who replaced them? Because the motion and the bootlegs and the play action, it was all working. Running the football was working. I don't know why we went away from it. And then the second half rolled around, and it was again the same song and dance of this team playing not to lose. And Jalen Hurts has openly talked about this in a post-game press conference with Pam Oliver earlier this year, saying, we got to play not to lose. And that is what the Eagles did on offense in the second half. They played not to lose rather than trying to win. And when you play not to lose in the NFL, it can really, really come back to bite you in the ass. And it really, really almost did come back to bite the Eagles in the ass in this game. The defense was gassed because the offense couldn't stay on the field to sustain a drive, much like they could last year. They could run the ball down your throats and keep the football in our possession on offense. But no, we go 3-and-out. We have to punt the ball, and there's no drive sustainability because we're playing not to lose. And then that tells me, like, okay, Kevin Patullo's calling the plays right now. It is the telltale sign that when they go away from the run game, or when they go away from the run game that is working, that exterior run game around the outside edges, to then open up those inside paths because the offensive line has been pretty bad, there lies the issue. And then once you tried to give the ball to Will Shipley and Tank Bigsby, nothing could happen with the run game. And then I guess they just assumed Saquon couldn't run the ball anymore. And we just started throwing in piss-poor conditions. And It led to the Bills scoring. Late in the game, it led to them getting the ball back and going down the field and getting some bullshit penalties and some bullshit non-calls. The Eagles should have had another touchdown in this game. A.J. Brown was clearly interfered with, had his entire arm like being pulled out of the socket, and no call was made. And then we have a pass thrown down deep down the field for the Bills that gets ruled a catch, and it is so clear and evident that it was not a catch, but nonetheless, we've got to prop up our golden boy, Josh Allen. And don't get me wrong, I like Josh Allen, but he has, much like Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, and to a degree Justin Herbert, they have a different set of rules than every other quarterback in the NFL. And it's evident from the referees. This officiating crew was terrible, and the Eagles overcame not only their own inefficiencies, but they overcame the referees' inefficiencies. And that's a testament to the leadership on the field for this team, Jalen Hurts, the defense, everybody that was on the field, kind of keeping things cool, calm, and collected, and they made sure they came away with the victory. And a great job by the defense to get enough pressure on Josh Allen on the potential game-winning two-point conversion attempt that was no good, and the Eagles walk away victorious 13-12. And you all know where I'm going with this. I got the 47 hat on. It's the tip of the cap, the tip of the cap, the tip of the cap. And we all know the tip of the cap is brought to you by our friends over at 47. Guys, there's no better headwear in the game than our friends at 47. They are truly the official, unofficial headwear. They are the unofficial, official headwear of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm wearing 47 all the time. I'm wearing my Super Bowl 59 Champions hat right now. I've got a plethora over here in the hat pile of 47 headwear. Their merchandise is second to none. I've got stuff in my cart right now that I'm going to be ordering tomorrow when I get home from work, because there's a sweet Flyers hat, there's a sweet Phillies hat that I want to get, and they've got things for all of your favorite teams. And even though it's not on their website, my favorite soccer team for the Premier League is partnered with 47. So, like, I'm 47 to the gills, and I am thrilled that they are part of this podcast and part of our network as a partner. You guys can go to 47's website, use our link in the description, and join the 47 family, and you get free shipping on all orders when you shop with our friends at 47. So use that link in the description, shop for your favorite sports teams with 47, and get free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family. And we thank 47 for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. The tip of the cap goes to Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio, masterclass in this game. The reason the Eagles won this game was because of the defense. The defense stepped up in so many different ways. They created turnovers. They got after Josh Allen. 5 sacks in this game from all over. Jalen Phillips, 2 from Jalen Hunt, Moro Jomo, Jalen Carter. And if Jalen Carter is going to be anywhere remotely healthy, the league is doomed. We're coming for you. Vic Fangio masterclass, man. He was spectacular calling a defensive game plan that the Eagles absolutely needed in this game to walk away victorious. I was so impressed by just the pressures, the calmness that this defense had, even when they gave up that 50-yard bomb to Brandon Cooks. The calmness that they withheld, not letting the moment get too big. You know, when that non-catch happened, the Eagles never afraid. And 4th and goal, they held them. They held them and didn't let them score. That was a massive point in this game too. And I was so impressed with Vic Fangio and the way that he called this defensive game plan for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this is one of his best performances as defensive coordinator for the Eagles in the 2 years that he has been here. You know, looking at some of the games that the Eagles have played this year, obviously the Packers game, masterclass. The Lions game, masterclass. The Chiefs game was a masterclass. The Super Bowl obviously was a masterclass. You look at some of the other games too. The Raiders shutout when you held them under 100 total yards as a team. just an overall, like, resume bump for Vic Fangio this year. And then you look back at last year when the Eagles were just going on runs and absolutely, putting on defensive performances for the ages. It was truly one for the ages today. One of the best called defensive games from Vic Fangio in his Eagles tenure, and I don't think it's particularly close. So tip of the cap to Vic Fangio, a job well done, and the Eagles march into Week 18 still alive for the number 2 seed. Yes, Sunday Night Football has concluded at the time of me recording this, and the 49ers take down the Bears and leave the door open for the Philadelphia Eagles to clinch the number 2 seed next week against the Washington Commanders at home, rocking the Kelly Greens. Eagles got to take care of business and win. That is part number 1. The Eagles got to win. Part number 2 is the Bears losing to the Lions. The Lions are eliminated, so there's nothing to play for them. But the Bears are obviously playing for the 2 seed as well. We'll see what happens there. But the Eagles are playing the Commanders, another team that is eliminated. We'll see what happens with that. Here's my thing. The debate all week long, this is why I implore you to turn down your radios, turn up Underground Sports Philadelphia. People are going to be saying, oh, start or bench the starters. Here's my thing. You obviously want guys to get healthy. You're not going to get the 1 seed, so you're playing wild card weekend. You want that 2 seed, though. You want that 2 seed. You're playing a Commanders team that is checked out mentally, emotionally. There's nothing there. You're probably playing against Josh Johnson, if I had to guess. And I think he got hurt in their game too. So you may be playing against a nobody. I think Tanner McKee can win this game, and you give Jalen Hurts a bye week of his own. You give A.J. Brown time off of his feet. You give Devontae Smith time to rest and recover. I trust the likes of Tanner McKee, Tank Bigsby, Jahan Dotson, Grant Calcaterra to execute on offense with some of the guys on the offensive line playing. I think you need Tyler Steen to play. I think you need Fred Johnson to play. You can leave Lane Johnson out this week coming up too. Just let him get as close to healthy as possible. I think you can win the game without them, without Jalen Hurts, without those guys. I think you can go out with your backups in, give your starters a week off, and allow yourself to go compete and see what you have with some of these backup guys. Not that, like, you need, scouting work on them, but, like, just see what they're capable of just in case you need them at any point. I think Darius Cooper can be a solid wide receiver, too, in a game like this. And I do think the Eagles' backups can win this game. Will they do it? Remains to be seen. And guess what? I'm not going to bitch and moan either way. If they decide to play the guys, let the boys play. If they decide to bench them, or not bench them, sit them, and let the backups play, so be it. I'm not concerned whatsoever. But I do think that, like, the likes of Tanner McKee, Tank Bigsby, Jahan Dotson, Calcaterra, Fred Johnson still playing, Tyler Steen still playing. I think Toth can come in and hold his own at center. I think the Eagles on offense can do that. Defensively, I don't know who would play. I think Jod Campbell will play regardless. I think Brandon Graham will probably play. I think Marcus Epps will play. I think who else would play? Ringo would probably play. Defense will be a doozy of a time. But I think the Eagles can beat the Commanders with that offense going and just see what happens. And then the Bears are now playing at 4:25 as well against the Lions. with a lot to play for, and we'll see who ends up getting the 2 seed. I mean, we look at the playoff machine as we have the past couple of weeks. We go to week 18, or tomorrow the Rams and Falcons play. Rams are probably going to win that. Let's say the Panthers win. Let's say the Seahawks win. Let's say the Eagles win. Let's say the Lions win. That is best case scenario, in my opinion. In my opinion, that is best case scenario for the Eagles, is to have the let's see, let me finish this out. Is to have the Seahawks win and to have the Lions win. Obviously, because then you get the 2 seed and then you get the Packers. And then you get the matchup of whomever, lowest seed, which, like, we'd get a rematch of 49ers-Bears in Chicago this time, and then we get a rematch of Panthers-Rams from earlier this season. Eagles-Packers was a doozy early on, and guess what? Jordan Love's not healthy. Michael Parsons ain't there. I think that is best case scenario, is hoping that the Seahawks end up with the 1 seed, having the 49ers play in wildcard weekend against the Bears, and letting it play out that way. I think that is best case scenario. I could be wrong. Let me know. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. But I think the best case scenario week 18 is the Seahawks winning on Saturday night, because they are playing Saturday night at 8 Eastern on the Monday Night Football on Saturday. Having the Lions win, obviously, and then the Eagles winning to get the 2 seed. Eagles at the 2 seed at 12-5 against the 10-6-1 Packers. Bears against the 49ers. Panthers against the Rams, or the Bucks against the Rams, whomever ends up winning that division. But I think that is best case scenario, is allowing the 49ers to play wildcard weekend. They are banged up. Trent Williams got injured in their Sunday night game against the Bears, and hopefully the Lions can come up clutch and give the Eagles the 2 seed, and the Eagles take care of business against the Commanders, because that is exactly what needs to happen. I feel good about that. I think it is possible, but it remains to be seen. But I do feel good about where the Eagles sit right now, and I think there's a lot of things that will happen on Saturday that will predicate how I feel one way or another. Because I think if, let's say, the 49ers win over the Seahawks on Saturday, and let's say the Eagles and Lions win. Let's do this here. Because then that changes everything too. If the 49ers win, they get that bye, and then it is Eagles-Packers still, but then it is Bears-Rams, Panthers-Seahawks. I also think that's pretty solid. I would like to see the 49ers not have home field advantage, because I think the Seahawks are a more beatable team for whoever has to go to Seattle versus what the 49ers are, even though they're banged up. They've been playing really good football. And, I mean, the memes would be great, because the 49ers just always come up short in the playoffs. It would be hysterical. But I do think either way, if the Eagles are able to get the 2 seed, they're in a good spot. That to me is the number one thing. I would love to see the Eagles get the 2 seed, because then you play, I think, outside of Carolina or Tampa Bay, the most inferior team due to injuries, and that is the Packers, because Jordan Love is out. You don't know what his status would be. You don't know, defense will look a little bit different without Michael Parsons since the last time you played them. They'd be coming here again. I just feel a lot better about that situation than I would having to, say, play the 49ers, play the Rams, play the Seahawks. Even though I feel good about playing the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, I think, is a sheep in wolves' clothing. But yeah, I mean, if the Eagles get the 2 seed, I'm going to feel good because guess what we did last year, guys? Eagles were the 2 seed. Walked away champs. So yeah, I mean, week 17 delivered in so many ways. And you want to talk about delivering, guys? Our pals at Riverside. Yes, Riverside. Incredible recording studio, incredible recording software that we now use here at Underground Sports Philadelphia to bring all of your favorite shows to you. Are done through Riverside, whether it's clips, whether it's full podcasts, whether it's segments, what have you. Riverside is there to make sure your podcast is looking and sounding as clean and crisp as possible. We made the switch going into December, and we have not looked back. It has been such a delight to use Riverside, and I have been so blown away by just the ins and outs of the user interface to the incredible just like way that it helps cut clips for you, cut segments, make sure that your audio sounds crystal clear. I hope everyone that listens to our shows has heard a difference in the audio of our shows since we've made the switch. You guys should be doing the same. Use our link in the description and sign up for Riverside. Get your podcast going in the right direction with our friends at Riverside. When you use the link, it helps support the show. And genuinely, it will help support your show because Riverside is going to make sure your show sounds crystal clear, looks incredible, and I can't recommend it enough. I've been blown away by Riverside and what they have been able to do to improve our shows across the network. So use our link in the description to sign up for Riverside. And shout out to Riverside for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia and the official streaming, recording, clipping, editing software of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Let's go around the NFL, shall we? Let's go around the NFL. Week 17 was a doozy of a week, and it started on Christmas Day with the stinkiest of stinker games. The Cowboys beat the Commanders 30-23. The Vikings take down the Lions 23-10 with Brosmer at the helm. The Broncos outlast the Chiefs 20-13. The Texans, surprise victory, 20-16 in LA against the Chargers. The Ravens absolutely mutilate the Green Bay Packers in the backup quarterback bowl. Stu Huntley versus Malik Willis, 41-24. The Dolphins upset the Bucs in the Florida Bowl, 20-17 down in Miami. The Patriots win the AFC East and take down the Jets 42-10. The Browns upset the Steelers 13-6 to set up an AFC North title game on Sunday Night Football in Week 18. The Jaguars hold on to take down Phillip Rivers and the Colts 23-17. The Saints outlast the Titans 34-26. The Seahawks take down the Panthers and prevent them from clinching the NFC South 27-10. And they hold on to their hopes for the 1 seed, and they'll play for that next week against the 49ers. The Bengals potentially end Jonathan Gannon's tenure in Arizona 37-14. The Giants cough up the 1 seed for the number 1 overall pick, that is, 34-10 against the Raiders. The Eagles obviously outlast the Bills in a Vic Fangio masterclass 13-12, and the 49ers take down the Bears 42-38 in one of the best games of the season so far. It was an exhilarating game. And then Monday Night Football is the Rams at the Falcons in a pretty much meaningless game because the Rams cannot win the NFC West. They will be a wild card. And then just looking ahead, Panthers, Bucks, and Seahawks 49ers will be on Saturday, January 3rd. And then everything else is on January 4th between 1 and 425, and then Ravens at Steelers at 8:20 for the AFC North title. That's your Around the NFL, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Guys, there's no better way to stand out in the crowd than with the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. With their unique designs for all, there is no doubt in our minds you will stand out in the crowd. Go to phiapparel.co, and when you go to checkout, use code Underground to get 10% off your next merch order from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Get your official Underground Sports Philadelphia merch. phiapparel.co, code Underground, 10% off your next merch order, and stand out in the crowd with our official merch partner, PHI Apparel Company. Let's shift gears here a little bit. We'll go from the gridiron to the baseball diamond as Bryce Harper announces that he will play for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic for the first time. Pretty fascinating that this is the first time since he was a teenager that he will don the red, white, and blue for Team USA. Looking at the roster to see if it's updated yet. I was looking at it the other day, and Bryce Harper was not on the team yet. But still not updated. But so far, the confirmed roster for Team USA in the WBC is pretty electric. And guess what, guys? 2026 is a loaded content year for us here at Underground. January, obviously, NFL playoffs. February, boom, 8-year anniversary of Underground, and boom, Winter Olympics with Light the Flame. You will also be getting spring training and Phillies baseball in February. March rolls around because I'm pretty sure the schedule starts in March for the WBC. Yes. We're covering the World Baseball Classic. Both Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber are playing for Team USA. A bunch of other players playing for other nations from the Phillies. We'll be covering the WBC in full length. And then obviously April rolls around. It's baseball season. Hopefully we have playoff hockey, playoff basketball. We'll have the NFL draft. And then we got the World Cup. And then we got the MLB All-Star Weekend in Philadelphia. It is a loaded 2026 for us. And the WBC being part of it is a huge, huge thing. And you just look at this roster for Team USA. The starting rotation. Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, Logan Webb, Joe Ryan. I can guarantee if he was healthy, Zach Wheeler would be on this team. Mason Miller, Nolan McLean, Clay Holmes, David Bednar in that bullpen. Cal Raleigh, Will Smith, Bryce Harper, Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Terang, Bobby Witt Jr., Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber. I think Trey Turner needs to be on this team. He was Captain America. Mike Trout should be on this team. I'm excited to see what the roster fills out to be. But man, Team USA is going to be absolutely star-studded. Mookie Betts could be on this team, which would be sweet. There's so many guys that I would love to see play for Team USA. And the WBC is going to be electric, and you add Bryce Harper into the mix and what he brings as a competitor and what he's going to be able to do to kind of jumpstart his season. I think this is going to be helpful for him, to kind of get an early go at playing live action baseball and not spring training baseball. I think it's going to be a huge, huge deal. I love that Bryce is playing. If you're against it, I don't know what to tell you, because I think he is exactly what Team USA needs. Now, Team Japan, the Dominican Republic, Team Puerto Rico, every team in the WBC of the heavy hitters are going to be juggernauts in this thing. It's going to be probably the best World Baseball Classic we have ever had. And that gets me giddy, because I think the WBC is some of the coolest international baseball you could ever witness. One day I would love to get down to Miami to watch some of the games. Maybe it's this year. Who knows? But I wonder how much those tickets are. World Baseball Classic. How much are tickets? Let's see. Miami. Tickets for Miami. Pool play in Miami. The Dominican Republic, Israel. The Team Venezuela, the Netherlands. Netherlands, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, and Israel. Tickets go on sale January 15th. Lone Depot Park. I would love to know how much the tickets are. I would love to go down to Miami for this. I'm going to have to remember January 15th. 2 weeks they go on sale. But yeah, the WBC is going to be awesome. I'm stoked that Bryce is playing. It gives me even more of a reason to watch. Not that I wasn't going to because Kyle Schwarber is playing and a whole bunch of other Phillies are playing. But I'm excited to watch the WBC. I think it's going to be an absolute juggernaut of a tournament, and it brings the juice. It gets you that much more excited for what is going to be an awesome year of baseball in Philadelphia because of the All-Star game. And maybe Team USA ends up winning, and then you bring a winning flair to this team. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber finally win a trophy. And bring that energy to this clubhouse. I would love to see it. And I'm glad that Bryce is playing, quite frankly. And everyone getting worked up about him wearing the not elite sweatshirt, go touch grass. It's time to touch the grass. Not concerned. That's what Bryce does. Just woosah, everyone. It's been a long off season. Also, JT Realmuto, can you please just put pen to paper and sign with the Phils? Please. Same with Ranger Suarez. But shifting from baseball talk, the Sixers are on a bit of a slide right now, and to say I'm concerned would be a phrase that I hate to use, disingenuous, because it's not a real phrase. But you were playing the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight as I record this on Sunday. I didn't expect to win, but I did expect to win that Bulls game on Friday that they ended up losing 109-102, and it felt like they had a firm grasp on it after 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter happened, and the Sixers let it slide away. Not great losing that game to the Nets right before Christmas, and now Saturday is the next time you play again, and you're at the Knicks, and then you come home to play the Nuggets, the Wizards, then you go to Orlando, and then go up to Toronto, and then you come back home to play the Cavs twice, the Pacers, the Suns, the Rockets, the Knicks. Then you go to Charlotte, you are home against the Bucks, home against the Kings, home against the Pelicans, and that's January for you. I don't know. I mean, you still have Memphis on Monday, or on Tuesday, actually, excuse me. And then you play New Year's Day in Dallas against Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks. It's just one of those weird funks that this team is in right now. I don't know really how to explain it. They played the Thunder tough, in my opinion, from everything I was paying attention to. They just didn't get enough from the bench unit. And this is, again, VJ Edgecombe is not going to have 30-point performances every game. And you needed a little bit more from VJ in this game. You needed a little bit more from Paul George in this game. This team is severely missing Kelly Oubre Jr. with his injury. And, once the new year comes and goes, we'll have Aaron Grugan back on the show. We kind of just gave everyone a break for the holidays in terms of guests on here, but we'll have Aaron back on and get her thoughts as, we approach the halfway point of the NBA season. The Sixers now have 30 games under their belt, but again, this is a gimme what you can year. You know, you want to see more from Andre Drummond in this game. He only had 4 rebounds. But you're also playing a super team, and you're playing the defending NBA champs, and I thought they played them relatively well for most of this game. I think they went into halftime. What is that? 62 to 64. They were down by 2 at halftime. And then it just slipped away in that third quarter where they got absolutely bullied and outscored by 14 points. And then they got outscored by 9 points in the fourth quarter, and that's your game. It's going to happen. Now, that Memphis game is going to be huge, and you want to see them beat a bad Memphis Grizzlies team because that's what the Memphis Grizzlies are. They are not good. They are 9th right now in the Western Conference. I don't think they're a good basketball team. And you also get the Mavericks after that, and the Mavericks are not good. So it's a good shot for the Eagles. I have NFL Network on. They're showing the Eagles highlights. This is a good shot for the Sixers to bounce back, get a couple of wins under their belt, and hopefully figure some things out. Plain and simple. But again, you want to see more production from guys, and it's very evident that they were missing Kelly Oubre Jr., they were missing Joel Embiid, but again, they're still 6th in the Eastern Conference at 16 and 14. That just shows the disparity of how not good the East is this year outside of the Pistons and the Knicks. You are 2.5 games back of the Celtics, 2 in the loss column for the number 3 seed. You are a game and a half behind the Raptors, equal in the loss column. And you're a game back of the Orlando Magic, equal in the loss column. So it feels gross right now with the way that the Sixers are playing, but quite frankly, they're not losing ground like crazy. So I'm not all that concerned, but they definitely need to figure some things out against Memphis and the Mavericks and get back on the winning track before you head up to New York to play on Saturday against the Knicks and then come home to play Jokic and the Nuggets on Monday. So a lot of fun stuff upcoming for the Sixers, but the sky is not exactly falling per se. But you know what is falling into a lot of people's laps this holiday season? You know what is, guys? Our friends at Binho. Guys, we love Binho here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's the next big tabletop game for your man cave, your tailgate, your party, your she-shed. You break out the Binho board, you're going to be the talk of your event. It's paper football meets foosball for the next big tabletop flicking experience. You guys can go use our link in the description to shop with Binho. That way they know you're coming from us. And when you go to checkout, get 10% off your next order from Binho. Get your officially licensed Philadelphia Union board, your officially licensed Premier League boards, Serie A, PSG. Get a customized board. Get some of their already pre-made boards that are absolutely gorgeous. When you go to checkout, after using our link to shop with Binho, use code BinhoBennett62. That's BinhoBennett62, and you get 10% off your entire order from our friends at Binho. So again, use our link in the description. Get 10% off your entire order with code BinhoBennett62 at checkout. And we thank Binho for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Almost choked there. Woo. Pardon me. Last bit here I wanted to touch on. Brennan O'Neill. We are lucky to have an athlete like Brennan O'Neill in this city playing for the Philadelphia Wings in a season that is very similar to the Sixers, where you're kind of just playing with house money and seeing what happens. Unfortunate loss for the Philadelphia Wings on Saturday in a game that was very winnable for them. But Brennan O'Neill, first career sock trick, 6 goals, and we have a superstar playing in this city. And he is truly a delight to watch. And I just want to say, if you have a chance to get out to a Philadelphia Wings game, Brennan O'Neill is more than worth the price of admission. That guy is a bona fide superstar and just an athlete that we all love rooting for in this city. And he's genuinely so easy to root for, and to see him hit a career accolade in year 2 of his NLL career like that, just taking over a game. And just saying, I kind of called it on OTB that was going to be a big Brennan O'Neill game, and it indeed was. Proud of him. 6 goals, first career sock trick for Brennan O'Neill. Shout out to the boy. Hopefully the Wings can get back on the winning track. They're at home, I believe, on January 9th, is it? Yes, Friday, January 9th, they're back home at Xfinity Mobile Arena against the Rochester Nighthawks. And then they are also home in January on January 23rd against the San Diego Seals. So a lot of fun games coming up there for the Wings, and then they're back home after that a month later, Sunday, February 22nd against the Saskatchewan Rush. And then they're home February 27th against the Georgia Swarm. And then March 8th against the Oshawa Firewolves. March 27th against the Halifax Thunderbirds. March 29th, a Sunday at 1 Eastern. Oh, am I going to miss that game? Is that Phillies? What? I hate these clickbait Google headlines. Talking about trading Trey Turner to the Blue Jays. What are we talking about? I think I'm missing this game because I will be at my first Phillies season ticket game. Yes. March 29th, the Wings are at home playing the Toronto Rock. Then Saturday, April 11th, Mitch Jones comes back to Philly as the Vegas Desert Dogs come to Xfinity Mobile Arena for the final home game of 2025-2026. I'm excited to get back. January 9th. Not too far away. Not too far away, quite honestly. As I look at my calendar here, that is what? 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, like 12 days away. I'll be back. Wings have a bye this week coming up. Yes, they are on a bye, which I think is needed. Kind of just get rested and get back before another home game against a very good Rochester Nighthawks team. But shout out to Brennan O'Neill, man. I just wanted to give him love because he deserves it. He's an absolute dog, and I appreciate that guy. So shout out to Brennan O'Neill, first career sock trick, and you'll get to witness him play January 9th at home for the next Wings home game. So definitely go check them out if you have a chance to do so. That is all I've got for you guys on this one. Make sure you're following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform. It really helps us continue to grow and reach new heights when you follow us. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're on everything. Follow us. Follow me on Twitter at KBICZL311, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow. Helps more people find our entire catalog of podcasts here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You subscribe. We need 26 more of you to subscribe before the end of the year to hit our ultimate goal of doubling our entire subscriber output from 2024 this year. We're so close. I really want to hit that goal. It would be awesome to hit. So please subscribe. YouTube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Smash that like button. Click the bell icon. And drop a comment in the comment section. So you know whenever new videos go live. That bell icon, man. It is so useful. And ladies and gentlemen, this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process. And their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you are considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 807 of Victory Monday edition, the final Victory Monday of 2025. The real ones who listen, I'll be doing the same thing I did last week for this week, with New Year's Eve being on Wednesday and New Year's Day being on Thursday. I'll be recording on Tuesday. Episode drops Wednesday morning, New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve morning. So you'll have the episode a day earlier than normal. That way I can kind of move along on New Year's Eve, do my thing, and then New Year's Day kind of just like veg out and chill and relax. Speaking of, I should check that schedule for other podcast purposes real quick. I probably won't be able to veg out and relax unless I record early, which we might. That way we can all relax. NLL plays on Friday. That's just silly. But you'll have the episode on Wednesday. So I'll be recording a little bit earlier than normal. So if anything pops up, look out for social media videos and stuff like that if needed. But final episode. Final Victory Monday episode of 2025. We'll have the final 2025 episode on Wednesday morning in your subscription boxes on your podcast app of choice, all that good stuff. But this has been episode 807 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. Enjoy your Victory Monday. I will see you on New Year's Eve. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here. I'm signing off. Go Birds! Peace.